Let me get this caller taken care of because I only can take one call at a time. Hello. Take your call.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome to AngelofThyNight Radio. What is your question tonight? You are caller number 6.
Hey, Rick. It's Butch.
Hello. I was just talking about you. You know, I would pass up any phone call to have you call in our show. And the reason why is because every time you have called in our show, you've been the only individual who has actually scared off every single co-host I ever had. So welcome to the show. My question for you...
A bunch of pussies, that's why.
You're right. You're right. You know, I fired a co-host. You know her name. We're not going to mention it here, but you know her name. I got rid of her.
Kai?
No, Kai got scared of you and ran off. I didn't fire him. He told me, he said, that Butch scares me. I'm scared of Butch. We're talking a female. We had a female co-host, and she said, and you know, she couldn't deal with the pressure anymore. And I said, look, I'm going to have to let you go, honey. And we let her go. She's not here tonight. So you can talk about...
Wait a minute. Was that the one that peed her pants?
No. You remember Millie? You remember Millie? The one you fought with? You guys were fighting during one of my shows. Arguing.
That was a while ago. I can't remember. Maybe. Was she the loudmouth?
Yeah. She was a bitch on my show, okay? I let her go. I cut her loose. Because, you know, the problem was they say never mix business with pleasure. Well, I got involved with Millie. I'm like, she's my co-host. You know, I'll invite her to Las Vegas. We'll have a good time. Well, I had her come out to Las Vegas. It didn't work out the way I wanted it to work out. And she told me...
You mean she didn't give you a head?
No, she said, I can't do that. She says it's against my religion. She says it's against my religion. We did other things, but she did not give me head.
Anal?
No, dude, no. You know what? I'm gonna be frank with you, okay? She gave a hand job, but she didn't know how to give the hand job. That was the problem. She came out and she says, I've never seen one of these. What do I do with it? I said, you've been listening.
Oh, a hand job's better than no job.
That's correct. Some jobs better than none. But you know what? She told me that she wasn't going to do the show anymore because she was sick of you calling in. And so I got rid of her. I got rid of her, man. Got rid of her for Butch. Anyways, folks, you're listening to AngelofThyNight Radio. You know, Butch, I've been hosting a lot of shows, and I'll tell you what, man. This show has missed your phone calls. I have had people write me, and they're like, where the fuck is Butch? So what have you been up to, man?
I've been busy, you know. I did a little bit of traveling. You know, odd jobs here and there.
What kind of odd jobs have you done?
I worked at a funeral home for a while.
A funeral home?
I did some sanitation work.
Well, you know, I have always been into funeral
homes. I
homes.
worked at an old folks home.
I hear about them old folks homes.
I did some janitorial work for a while.
Janitorial?
I worked in a cafeteria.
What did you exactly do? You were behave yourself at the funeral home and the cafeteria, right? You didn't do anything bad, did you, Butch?
I think you know the answer, Rick.
I know all the answers. All.
Exactly.
We started a new feature on our show. And the new feature on the show is Ask Lord Rick. And basically, people can call in. They can ask me anything on Earth, and I will give them an honest answer. They may not like the answer. We've had a few phone calls where people don't like the answer. But anyways, I have not heard from you in months. And I'm going to tell you something. I have went to funeral homes before. Now, I'm not into that whole necrophilia type of thing, all right? I'm not into it. But I have gone to funeral homes by myself. And I have sat there at a funeral home thinking, ghost, please talk to me. You know, maybe I'm out of my mind. I don't know. But I'm here to tell the story.
Well, I'll tell you, I had to work as an usher at one of them, and a few months ago, we had a girl come in, beautiful girl, got hit in a car accident, and my God, just seeing her lying there, she was beautiful. A couple of the guys I worked with, they said they were thinking about doing something after hours, and I said, you got to be careful.
Well, you know.
Nothing ended up happening, but I think one of them did. His finger smelled like formaldehyde.
That sounds to me like a case of necrophilia, because I know that when I'm with a living girl, she's beautiful, she's warm, there's no formaldehyde smell, you know. That sounds like a case to me where someone's into the dead bodies. And I feel sorry for people who are into that kind of fetish. Because can you imagine, you're at a funeral home, you're doing the dead body. Imagine how cursed and haunted you will become. It's bad enough that I walk over grave sites at cemeteries, you know. But then when you go to a funeral home and you're like, oh shit, did I just touch the dead body? Nothing starts off your morning more than when you touch a stiff-ass fucking titty, all right?
Rick, have you ever smelled a dead body?
Oh, yeah. You know what?
How many?
I'm going to tell you something right now. When I go out on investigations, I go to a lot of mines, a lot of secluded locations. These are locations that bodies have never been retrieved before, where people have been throwing down the mines. I know what a dead body smells like. Honestly, it's not my preference. It's kind of nasty, but it happens. It happens on our investigations.
Yeah, we had to do some cleanup. Before I did the funeral home, I did crime scene cleanup. A buddy of mine, you know, when a crime happens, the cops don't clean it up. They got to call an outside party to come in with all the chemicals and do all the cleanup.
What was the worst
scene? We had to do that.
What was the worst scene you ever encountered?
Is the decomp that goes on if a body's been sitting there. And more of the times, 9 times out of 10, these bodies, their bowels, they just lose control once they die. And the rectum usually releases everything that's been built up, and all the bile fills out. And, you know, in the dead of summer, the heat can just make it unbearable. I threw up all over a body by accident.
Did you apologize to her after you did this?
Rick, she was dead.
Oh, well, here's the thing, okay? I find out that ghosts are connected to dead bodies. If I throw up on some girl's boobies, man, if I'm like, blah, you know, I'm going to find out, I'm going to become cursed, man. I'm going to become like the Walking Dead, you know? So when I go to places, I'm like, hey, I apologize, I just stepped on your grave. I'm sorry, you know? But, you know, we all have our own things of dealing with stuff, so, you know, I'm not one to judge. I'm not one.
Uh-huh.
So anyways, you know, tonight we're hosting on Stickum, and people used to make jokes. They used to be like, ha, good luck hosting on Stickum. But you know what? I feel tonight that Stickum has been better to us than any other place. You guys...
Rick, there's like 140 fucking people in the room.
Isn't that crazy shit, man? We are just like kicking ass and taking goddamn names tonight. We got also Garlic Girl on webcam, Herba Pater. We got B Moore and Stanley Williams. We got everybody on cam tonight. And of course, you women know the sexiest girl in a costume gets seasons 1 through 4 of Angel of the Night Radio.
Hey, tells that like girl to show her tits.
I don't know if Stickum would like tits. Stickum has kind of
That's
been like...
true.
Stickum's been alright to me. I've never hosted on Stickum before, but Stickum was like, look, okay, you smoke pot, we're not going to use your photos as the main photo. So I know I got to be careful what I do on Stickum. If I host a pair of titties, they're going to give me the boot. If I sit there...
Yeah,
I could swear all I want.
They could get the cyber police after you. They could backtrace it.
Backtrace it. You know, all I can say is let's hope the cyber police or some hot fucking woman that's at my door. I'll be like, you want to come in for a cup of coffee? You know what I'm saying? I could solve this. I could solve it. I'm not going on live video. I'm not going on there because live video has a code. And basically what people are doing is they're taking the code and they're hacking shows. I didn't want anybody to compromise my show. It's like if I'm going to act like a jackass, it's going to be me who acts like a jackass. It's not going to be someone who sits there and puts a code in and pretends to be me on the air. There is no Lord Rick but me. I am Lord Rick. So I went over to Stickum because I'm like, I will give Stickum a chance. And if Stickum is good to me, I will continue to host my shows here. But anyways, for those who are listening tonight to AngelofThyNight Radio, Butch used to call on our show in season, I believe it was season 3 and season 4, mainly season 4. And a lot of my co-hosts quit because of Butch calling in. They just had mental breakdowns. They could not handle him calling in. And there was one co-host I had to fire because of it, and she's no longer here with us. So
Hey, where's Fighting Irish?
Fighting Irish, he's long gone. You know, the problem is with Fighting Irish is that I would take this guy hiking with me, and he'd pull his dick out of his pants and be like, I got the bigger dick. And I'd be like, no, you don't, man. I'd pull out my dick, and I'd be like, I got the bigger dick. So this guy would, like, try to punch me in the face. So I had him on a show. Well, you know this. You called in. But I had him on the show. He came as dressed as Santa Claus, and me and him got into a fist fight. Like, it went right off camera. We were, like, punching each other and everything else on the fucking show. And he's like, I quit. I'm no longer co-hosting. I'm no longer calling the show. And the main reason why he quit is because of you. He could not take you calling in the show.
Yeah, these knives, man. He seemed a little slow, if you ask me.
Well, the thing was, is he was drinking a lot, and I feel it contributed to a lot of things, because I would take this guy out, and I'd take him hiking, and he was just in another world. He's like, you need to take me, we take six-pack, you know? We take six-pack. And he got really pissed because I went up to Gas Peak without him, and I took a six-pack without him, and then that was it. He was, like, done. He's like, I ain't fucking doing nothing with you. I'm like, sorry, man, you know? I just fucking had to hike the goddamn mountain myself. He was only 5 foot tall, you know? He wasn't a tall guy, and I just don't see him climbing the side of a cliff like I was. I just don't see it.
So what else has been going on in the world of Lord Rick?
You know what? Nothing ever changes in the world of Lord Rick. Our organization has put out in the last year probably about 40 investigations. I'm still cliff climbing. I'm still fucking doing shows. I only do 1 or 2 shows a month. But when I do a show, it's a big event. A lot of people show. A lot of people really look forward to, you know, coming on out. And right now I'm in the process of actually taking my organization and my show, and I'm moving it up to Reno. Because I wanted to be in Reno so I could go on Lake Tahoe and fuck around. That's basically what it comes down to. I want to go out in Lake Tahoe. I want to look for the lake monster. I want to get high on the lake. I want to go up to fucking Oregon and party, you know, up to Portland and shit. And I can't do it in Vegas. I can't. Yeah, you know, Vegas is great. I mean, Vegas has strippers and it's a great place to host our show and stuff, but Reno is fucking 10 times better.